personnel. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, he's done a great job, not just Brent, but I mean, that's Dan Brooks and Marion and Mike. They're just great chemistry in the room. They've done a great job of I think keeping the plan simple enough for our guys early on when we first got started. I think we simplified some things, and then now we're 3 years in the system. We've been able to, be a little more complex because of the veteran experience that we have. So, he's just done a good job, getting those guys in the right place. And we hadn't always played perfect against these guys. I mean, it's been shoot, they've still had success. They've still, made big plays on us. These guys are going to get big plays. These guys are going to score. I mean, that's just, I don't think it's realistic to go in this game and think we're just going to, shut them down by nature of what they do. They're going to move the ball some. We've just got to, get as many punts as we can and stops as we can, and we got to keep them out of that end zone. We got to hold them to field goals, and we got to create some turnovers. That's got to win those one-on-one matchups, and these guys, if you really look at them, I mean, it's a huge amount of big plays. I'm talking big plays, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70-yard type of plays. And a lot of them, it's guys wide open, or it's one-on-one situation, guy misses a tackle and it's a big play, or it's the dive play up the middle. So I just think our defensive staff has done an excellent job, but it's all about this game.
When you look at the schedule, are you happy the way it turned out for the season as far as you play Wake Forest on a Thursday night and maybe having those extra 48 hours to prepare for a Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I think that was great. Good for our guys as far as just getting guys a couple extra days to rest up a little bit, and gave us an opportunity at this point in the season to do some good self-scout and future work during that open week, short open week, and good for our staff coming off of that game as far as having a little extra time this weekend.
Coach, on the targeting penalty, I can sort of see the referee on the field missing that call, but what about up in the replay booth? Have you got any kind of explanation yet?
No, I don't have an explanation for it. I'm pretty much on the record with my comments on it. I just think that again, the intent of the rule was to take the crown of the helmet out of the game, and the obvious cheap shot, the one where we all go, oh man, not the big hit, the cheap shot, and hitting people above the neck, and targeting, with the crown of your helmet. And those are the things that the intent of the rule was for, and it's a great rule. I just think that we need to go back maybe and make sure we've got it defined properly. And again, we put our refs in a situation, and sometimes it's bang bang play, and they don't really know, and so it's kind of call it when in doubt. And again, I just feel like that that was a good play, and but we got to live with it. It's just the way it is, and we got a good player that's not going to be available in the first half in a critical game at a critical position for us, especially against what these guys do. So that's a challenge, but everybody has challenges that they have to deal with throughout the year, and we'll keep moving forward.
It's part of the frustration that because the call was bang bang on the field, and then it's reviewed, and the ref said the call stood rather than confirmed. And that ends up affecting the first half of another game.
Absolutely. I think, again, it speaks to the problem that I think is the intent of the rule. And I think we've put our refs in a bad situation. And, again, everybody wants to err on caution and all that. But that play was not what the intent of the rule was for. If we're going to take that play out of college football, then I don't know how to coach our guys. We need to just take the pads off. And just because this is a violent game, and we're never going to make it not violent. It's just the way it is. We need to make it safe, and everybody has to coach the right technique and play within the rules. But football is a full-speed collision sport, and You know that when you sign up for it. And nobody ever wants to see anybody get hurt. And you know, that play right there, I don't know how you take that out of the game. You know, and again, as I said the other day, at some point we got to talk. We got to stand up for these defensive guys. I mean, you know, they need a little protection too. I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to teach guys to do. Just stop and catch them, or let them make the play, then tackle them. I mean, these are full speed games. You know, the biggest thing is we want to keep guys' heads up and out of the collision. All right, and everybody's teaching, you know, shoulder tackling and leading with the shoulder, and you see a lot of guys leave their feet and tackle guys with their shoulder, go through guys with their shoulder. You see that all the time, all the time. You know, maybe he could have wrapped up, but we get a lot of tackles where we don't wrap guys up. You know, I mean, we knock them down. They run through them. And that's football. So, again, I just think it's and I sat in a meeting for a long time back spring when we talking about all the rule change and all this stuff, and that's not the play we talked about. That's very clear to me. So, you know, that's just my opinion. And I think it's something from a football standpoint. I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the refs, I think, are in a tough situation. I'm talking about as football coaches in the game itself, that we got to go back and really make sure we've got the intent defined properly, and that everybody's – and it's so subjective. You know, you talk about impacting a game. If you got to review it, I mean, it should be obvious that it was a targeting. Not any question at all, and you know that to me should be the intent. I mean, it ought to be something that we 10 people can look at and say that's obvious. It should be that clear.
You mentioned putting the refs in a bad spot. Would the preference be like the previous rule in recent years, where the league office would handle that like during the week rather than have it be the result of?
I think so. I mean, I think so. Again, you're unless it's just obvious. Otherwise, you're throwing people out of the game, and there no way, form, or fashion was their intent to target a guy. You know, their intent's to make a big hit, and you know, you're not leading with your head. You're doing the things that we ask them to do. Yeah, that would be a great suggestion. But again, that's just all stuff we got to worry about after the season. That one's water under the bridge, and we've wasted enough time talking about it right now. Nothing we can do about it.
Any other questions? Okay.
All right, guys.